Make no mistake about it. I am in a much better place today than I was 2 years ago when I was first coming out of my manic episode. It's an inescapable fact that I'm in a better place today. My therapist, who recently resigned about a week ago, said something while parting ways with me that has really gotten me thinking. And what she said was, in some ways, it sounds like the old Tyler is coming back. Now that is exactly what I want to speak about in this video. I want to talk about that old Tyler, the things he accomplished, the aspirations he had, the direction he was going. And I want to talk about how my 6-month-long manic episode, in essence, killed that old Tyler. And I want to talk about where I stand today, what characterizes myself today, because there has definitely been a massive change. And none of the changes that I've experienced since leaving mania have necessarily been long-lasting either. They've been rather ephemeral. And I think that's just a testament to the very nature of bipolar depressive episodes, is it's hard to find that stability. Mania is so overwhelming. And when we leave mania, there's a strong sense of guilt, shame, and embarrassment that follows us. And it accompanies us through our depressive episode. That's been the case with me. The old Tyler is not around anymore. And this is something I've had to come to terms with. The old Tyler was highly successful in high school, went on to experience tremendous success in university. He was highly involved in extracurriculars. He was successful both inside and outside of the classroom. He formed strong social bonds with his family. He was successful at work and was a hard worker. And although his mental health wasn't perfect, he utilized coping mechanisms that helped him get through his days and didn't allow mental illness to diminish his ability to succeed. Didn't use it as an excuse for why he can't do better things. He believed in himself. The old Tyler had very high aspirations about his future. Now, I'm going to talk about the proliferation of accomplishments that I experienced in high school, because there were many. I remember my senior year of high school, I entered a public speaking competition hosted by the Lions Club of Massachusetts. And in that competition, I got second place out of 900 students in the state. So I won first place at the first few levels, and then at the state finals, I ended up getting second. Won a bunch of money that I saved up and would use in college. Also in high school, I participated in DECA, which is the Distributive Educational Clubs of America. For those who don't know what DECA is, it's an organization that provides opportunities for high school students to learn more about the business world. They host a competition in which you perform on an exam, and then you also perform what's called role plays, where you're given a scenario of a struggling business or something, and you have to, on the fly, improvise and develop a plan to help resolve the issues that business is facing. You have about 10 minutes of prep, and then you present it to a judge. So there's two parts of the evaluation. There's the role play and there's the exam. And I remember my first year of doing DECA, which was my senior year, I participated in the finance category. At the district level of competition, District 7 in Massachusetts, I got first place in my category. And there were some 500 plus students attending that competition. And then I went on to the state conference. And there were 3,500 students in attendance at that conference. These are people who performed well at the district levels. And I got first place in the state in my category of business finance. 2 first place trophies. And then I went on to compete in the international competition. And I scored in a very high percentile on all of the different clusters I was evaluated on. Sounds like I had a bright future, right? Well, I also excelled academically in the classroom, had impeccable grades, straight A pluses my sophomore, junior, and senior years of high school. And I performed so well on my advanced placement exams that I actually earned the accolade from the College Board Advanced Placement Scholar with distinction. I got an SAT score of 1,500, one of the highest in my high school's history. I did all these things, thought that I was setting myself up for success. The Tyler of then made no excuses. There was no obstacle that he couldn't overcome. He had such high confidence, such a high self-esteem. And he went into college and carried that attitude with him. I remember trying out for the mock trial team at the university level, and as a freshman, I made it onto the team. Only, 26 of us out of, 100 plus tryouts ended up making it onto the university team. It's highly competitive. These are people who performed so well at mock trial at the high school level. And at our very first competition, with me on the team, we won first place at our first competition. And then COVID hit a little later and we all got sent home, and I'm sure you guys can figure how things went from there. But I was on a path to success again. I ended up joining a college fraternity to step outside of my comfort zone and develop social skills that I feel like I was severely lacking. And being a part of the pledge process, going through Rush, meeting all the brothers, meeting all the members of the Greek life community, greatly increased my confidence. It increased my confidence to a very high degree. I ended up holding several positions of leadership in my fraternity. I was vice president of my pledge class. I was chapter historian. I was the public relations chair, which is social media manager. I managed the fraternity's Instagram account. And I excelled in those positions. And my brother saw me as someone who could be relied on, as someone who was clearly intelligent. That's their own words. As someone who's loyal. But everything would change when my bipolar manic episode hit. I started experiencing strong delusions. Eventually this exacerbated into strong hallucinations, all of which dismantled my character, all of which affected my intuition for the worse, all of which were detrimental to my overall condition and well-being. And ever since that moment, ever since the collapse of my central command center during mania, I've never been the same Tyler. The Tyler Adolfo of today is less confident than he once was. He's uncertain of what the future holds. I'm not wholly optimistic. I'm not wholeheartedly optimistic that my future is bright. Now, I am in a better place today. But part of that is because I've come to accept that old Tyler does not exist anymore. There's now a new Tyler. A Tyler who has to cope with the reality. A Tyler who has to deal with the cards he's been dealt and adapt accordingly. And in doing so, I feel like I've become a happier person these past few years. I'm not as negative as I was during the 2 years of my depressive episode where I was fluctuating between moderate and severe depression. Still have a long way to go, still a lot of progress to be made. I don't think that the old Tyler will ever fully be back, but I think that there's elements of that old Tyler that I can retrieve and reinstill into myself, make part of my character again. But that ultimately I'll have to combine that with new elements. I have to adapt to my new situation. I have to adapt to my new circumstances because I'm dealing with a severe brain disorder that will impact me for the rest of my life. And it's not something I want to downplay the severity of, because the enormous cost that it can have on one's life. I lost my education, I lost my job, I lost my friends. And all of these are things that can be regained. But that destruction will always sit with me because these are things that I was so passionate about. I loved my friends. I loved my job working at the Chamber of Commerce. I loved being at the University of Massachusetts Amherst. It was like a home to me. So it's tough to be wholly optimistic. But things are getting better. And you have to appreciate what you have, right? That's what I try to do right now. I know that the old Tyler isn't here. Can he come back? Parts of him can. But I think part of moving on is being able to realize that the old Tyler is no longer with us. That a new Tyler can emerge. I think that the new Tyler that can emerge can be a better Tyler. A Tyler who doesn't find himself in this situation again, where his mental health spirals out of control. He becomes overwhelmed with negative thought patterns and overwhelmed by delusions and hallucinations that get him hospitalized multiple times, and that cost him all of the things that he's worked so hard for. I have a strong feeling that things will keep getting better, and I'm confident to see what the new Tyler will look like going forward. This hasn't been an easy journey. Without question, there have been many bumps in the road, and I expect there to be many more. But I won't let these obstacles stop me. I'm going to do my best to keep making the best of a bad situation. And I'm going to keep adhering to that quote by President Calvin Coolidge: "Nothing in this world can take the place of persistence. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent." I'd like to thank you all for watching this video. Man, I'm so sweaty right now. I don't know what it is. But I need to get some fans on, air conditioner on or something, because this is bad. Thank you all so much for stopping by the channel and watching. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. Make sure you like the video so that more people can see it. Check out the other videos on my channel. I have over 40 plus and growing videos where I talk about bipolar disorder. The playlist is called Bipolar Breakdown. Check it out. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Thank you for stopping by again. But I hope you all have an awesome day. Love, light to all. Take care.